Imagine this, a continent where the youth outnumber the elders, where the dreams of millions simmer beneath the weight of generations of misrule. And then, seemingly out of nowhere, one man steps forward. Not an elder, not a polished politician, but a soldier, just 34 years old. His name is Ibrahim Traoré, and in a matter of months, he has become a symbol of hope for Africa's young generation. But how did this happen? And what does it mean for the future of an entire continent? Burkina Faso, a landlocked nation in West Africa, has been marred by terrorism, corruption, and decades of exploitation. For many, it seemed like the world had forgotten them. But in 2022, a name began to echo not just in Burkina Faso but across the continent: Ibrahim Traoré. Young Africans, frustrated by a lack of opportunities and broken systems, began to see him as more than a leader. He was a reflection of their struggle and a beacon of their hope. Today, we'll uncover how Traoré rose from obscurity to become Africa's youngest president, why his actions resonate with millions, and how he's challenging the status quo in ways no one saw coming. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the youth of Africa are rallying behind him, and why his story matters to the world. To understand the phenomenon of Ibrahim Traoré, we must start at the beginning. Born in 1988, in a small village in Burkina Faso, Traoré grew up witnessing the struggles of his people firsthand. Poverty wasn't just a statistic, it was the air they breathed. Schools were underfunded, jobs scarce, and promises from leaders always broken. But Traoré wasn't like most kids. Friends describe him as fiercely disciplined, even as a teenager. He excelled in school, eventually earning a scholarship to study geology. Yet, even as he pursued an academic path, something pulled him toward the military, a place where he believed he could make a real difference. By his mid-20s, Traoré had joined the army, rising quickly through the ranks. His peers respected him, not just for his strategic mind but for his unwavering commitment to justice. But his journey wasn't just about personal ambition. It was about something much larger, a calling to fight for a nation that seemed to have lost its way. While Traoré was climbing the ranks, Burkina Faso was unraveling. Terrorist groups wreaked havoc, displacing millions and destroying entire communities. The government, led by President Damiba, seemed paralyzed, more focused on maintaining power than protecting its people. The youth were angry. Protests erupted, led by university students, farmers, and even young mothers who had lost everything. The common refrain? "We are dying, and our leaders are silent." Traoré, still a mid-ranking officer at the time, watched as the voices of his generation were ignored. And then came the tipping point, an October 2022 coup. Traoré and a group of young officers seized power, claiming they had no choice but to act. It wasn't just about removing a leader, it was about reclaiming the future. From the moment Traoré took office, it was clear he wasn't a typical leader. Unlike his predecessors, who ruled from behind gilded walls, Traoré walked among the people. He held open forums in villages, listening to the concerns of farmers, students, and market vendors. He wasn't there to dictate, he was there to listen. One of his first moves was to cut ties with Burkina Faso's former colonial ruler, France. French troops, long accused of meddling in the region, were sent packing. In their place, Traoré called on young Burkinabés to take up the fight against terrorism. Thousands volunteered. For many, it was the first time they felt truly seen by their government. Traoré's actions didn't just inspire Burkina Faso, they ignited a movement across Africa. In Mali, Niger, Guinea, and beyond, young people began to see him as a symbol of what was possible. Hashtags like #WeAreTraoré and #AfricaUnites trended on social media. Street murals of his face appeared in cities thousands of miles away. It wasn't just admiration, it was a call to action. Young Africans began organizing protests, demanding accountability from their leaders. They cited Traoré as proof that change wasn't just a dream, it was achievable. But not everyone celebrated Traoré's rise. Western governments and media outlets labeled him a radical. They accused him of aligning with non-Western powers, including Russia. Some went as far as to call him a destabilizing force. For the youth, however, these criticisms only strengthened their resolve. If they fear him, it's because he's doing something right, one university student in Ghana said. Traoré's biggest challenges aren't just external. Within Burkina Faso, powerful elites who thrived under the old system see him as a threat. There have been whispers of assassination attempts, of foreign intelligence operations aimed at undermining his leadership. But through it all, Traoré remains undeterred. He has doubled down on his message: Africa must rise, not through foreign aid, but through the strength of its people. Perhaps the most remarkable part of Traoré's story is the response of Africa's youth. From digital literacy campaigns in rural villages to tech startups in urban centers, young people are stepping up in ways never seen before. If our president believes in us, how can we not believe in ourselves? This sentiment, echoed by a 19-year-old volunteer, captures the essence of the movement. Ibrahim Traoré's story is still being written. He's not perfect, and his challenges are immense. But for millions of young Africans, he represents something far greater than one man. He represents hope. He represents the belief that this generation has the power to change the trajectory of a continent. So the question isn't just about Traoré, it's about all of us. What will we do with this moment? And how will we ensure that this spark becomes a fire that lights up all of Africa? If this story inspired you, hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more stories that redefine Africa's future. Let us know in the comments, what does Traoré's story mean to you?